The federal government, the UN, ICANN have all announced that the internet will be a few thousand megasites, and you will be allowed to have a subdomain like you do on YouTube or you do on MySpace or Facebook, and they will ban you and restrict you whenever they want. That is the official statement of Internet 2 going back over 6 years. Now Time Magazine's calling for it. The head of the UN Internet program's calling for it. Cass Sunstein, White House regulations czar, is calling for it. The New York Times is calling for it. They're calling for no more Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Now, we've caught countless big ISPs in England, the U.S., Australia, all over the world, banning Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. The issue is they claim that they're not censoring and do this. You can say, well, it's their company, they can do what they want. The point is they do it covertly. And people always complain, and then they unblock it. MySpace admits they ban our bulletins from going out. We've gotten that directly from MySpace. Google has admitted that they've censored us. YouTube has admitted that they've censored us. We've written countless articles with their own admissions there. All over the train systems and free government systems that you pay for as taxpayers in the U.S., in Canada, in Europe. You're not allowed to visit Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. This is how they operate. This is what they're doing. That's one thing. And I discover this because I have two guys that work for me, Paul Watson and Steve Watson, and you pay as a taxpayer in England for this, quote, free broadband, and then their laptops and cell phones won't go to Infowars and Prison Planet. It gives them a message that it's blocked. And you go to libraries, and you go to schools and public schools, and corporations do it. You can argue, well, corporations are allowed to. You can't visit Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. But as of 2 weeks ago, and we've gotten the error messages, we've gotten the confirmed emails from China, they're coming in by the hundreds a day, we are banned to 1 billion plus Chinese. Infowars and Prison Planet now banned. Whole areas of Australia were banned. It's the big ISPs doing it. We're banned to most users in New Zealand, and there's actually articles in the New Zealand news about this. This just happened in the last 3 days. We're getting massive emails that were banned in Italy on most systems. People still can get around it some ways with proxy servers and other things. So notice, right as our own media, the British media, the European media, the Aussie media, and others call for the censorship. And again, we have tons of articles I covered throughout the week from major newspapers in Australia where mainline political parties are now banned, where WikiLeaks is banned, where mainline sites are banned. We're not the only ones. They're just banning Chinese-style net censorship. And that's what these countries are calling it. They're proudly doing it. Are spreading everywhere. So a day is coming very soon where you won't be able to visit Infowars or Prison Planet anywhere. We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on this Super Bowl Sunday. I've got some things to say about the Super Bowl and Sarah Palin coming up in the next segment. I want to open the phones up only for Australian, Chinese, Italians, people in New Zealand. Also, it's starting to happen in England, who have been specifically blocked from visiting Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. I mean, I have mainstream news articles and blogs out of New Zealand and Australia reporting you can't go to my websites. Here is the infonews.co.nz. Internet censorship. Major truth-providing websites blocked by Asia Netcom to New Zealand users. And this is just one article. It just goes through Telestar Clear, Vodafone, World Exchange Communications, Whoosh. I mean, it just goes on and on. iHug, Telecom. It's all banned. It's all banned. And I was at Mahdi's Thursday night. I whipped in. I had to come back to work. I whipped in to get some Mexican food. And basically, everybody in there was a listener and a fan. I mean, literally, everybody in there came over, waved, and said, hi, keep it up, Alex. And two people from New Zealand who were visiting filmmakers came over and said, man, New Zealand is on fire with you. And I get emails and stuff from New Zealand when there's big banner hangs for Infowars.com. You know, they say a prophet is not known in his own country. Well, we're very popular in the U.S. We're in the top 1,000 websites according to Alexa, but we're even higher rated in other foreign countries. So it's really amazing to have this going on. I mean, we get 4 million visitors, independent, separate IP addresses every week to our two big websites. And the information is devastating to the New World Order. We understand the globalist operation. And this is happening through a coordinated global operation. The UN announced a week ago they want web censorship of, quote, extremist and anti-government information worldwide. Cass Sunstein, we covered this 2 weeks ago, is writing white papers as the head regulations are at the White House. He's in line when Justice Stevens or Ginsburg leaves this year. They're both set to leave. He is in line to be the next Supreme Court justice. He says you have no Second Amendment right. He says you have no right to free speech. We should ban conspiracy theories. He includes that into saying that man-made global warming isn't real, is a conspiracy theory. And so it's not just my website. We read articles earlier in the week where mainline political websites are inaccessible in Australia. China has now banned us completely. Again, the train stations, the cities, the free city internet in London and in Sheffield, blocks Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, libraries everywhere. So we're being systematically blocked by software. We've been put in a list of bad sites, but that's not enough. Now, entire giant telecoms are blocking us. This is a huge story. Chinese-style net censorship. And then, in fact, guys, I couldn't find the article on my stack. Google Italy enforces draconian net censorship. Or Italy installs Chinese-style censorship. It was the big Italian papers that you have to get a license. That's a good thing to search. You have to get a license now to be on the internet. The government has to approve you to have a website or a news site. I mean, that's literally Soviet or Nazi. Folks, there's so much evidence of this. It's happening to us right now in our own government, and Time Magazine and the New York Times and the White House czar are calling for censorship, and they're calling for censorship of talk radio. Remember Michael Savage last year banned from going to England? Remember the head of their home office saying, you're not welcome here? What about the members of the parliament in Sweden and other places are going to court next week for criticizing radical Muslims? Again, whether you agree with criticizing radical Muslims or not, it's his free speech. Everybody is beginning to be censored, but especially Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, because the system is in trouble. Newspapers are going bankrupt. Mainstream TV is going bankrupt. They're openly calling for censorship of the web and blogs because they can't compete. And you've got the diversity czar, you've got the science czar, the technology czar, all calling for censorship. Now, last year, they had two different heads of cybersecurity resign. The first one resigned saying the Pentagon is taking over the internet. And so when you hear, oh, the House passed cybersecurity bill to fight Chinese hackers, it has nothing to do with that. If you actually read the bill, in fact, just search this term. Obama says he may shut off the internet to save it. Or should Obama control the internet? That's Mother Jones. Print that for me. I don't want to just sit here and make these claims. I want to show you the articles. Go read the House bill. Read the Senate bill. China doesn't even have a net ID to get online. They just block most sites. This is more draconian than China. The White House is calling for this. Do you understand this isn't a joke? And you may hate what I have to say, but if you don't support my free speech, you're going to lose yours. And there's Mother Jones' headline. Should Obama control the internet? And then it breaks down the cybersecurity bill and how the head of cybersecurity resigned and how it's a police state takeover. That was from April 2nd, almost a year ago. What, 11 months ago, 10 and a half months ago. This is from Friday. House passes cybersecurity bill. Police want backdoor to web users' private data. CNET News. Just keeping your data indefinitely. Internet censorship. Major truth-providing websites blocked by Asia Netcom to New Zealand users. Almost every major telecom, simultaneously, they list them. We've been sent the screenshots. You can't get there. Major international transport hub censors political websites. PrisonPlanet.com.